What's going on, everyone? I got an awesome video for you guys today. See, I was on a speaker series a couple days ago, and I was asking people, what would you do if you knew a stock was going higher, or if you thought a stock was going higher? And about 75% of the respondents said they would buy a call. Now, when I put them to the test, when I asked them why they would buy a call, and a couple things about calls, very few people actually knew the answers. So, before you get into it, before you go out there and start buying calls and everything, before you get into buying options in general, there are 4 things that you need to know. I'm going to go over those very, very quickly in this video. But again, don't go forward with buying calls before you know these 4 things, or you're going to be buying something you don't know. So, first of all, what's a call, right? It is a contract to buy an agreed upon amount of shares. So every single call at expiration is worth 100 shares of stock, right? So it's agreed upon amount of shares of a stock at an agreed upon price. Every single option has a strike price, okay? And every single option has a strike price. That's the agreed upon price at a predetermined date, which is the expiration of an option. Now, on top of that, during the length that you hold the call that you've purchased, you are synthetically long the same amount of shares as the delta of the option that you own. Now, there are 4 things here. The agreed upon amount of shares at the agreed upon price at a predetermined date, and all the while you are synthetically long X amount of shares. We're going to break down all 4 of those right here, right now. So the first one, an agreed upon amount of shares. So every option of a stock, right, that is not cash settled, or is not a futures contract, is worth 100 shares of stock at expiration. Okay, we'll get into that a little bit later. So if we buy 5 calls, we agree to have bought 100 shares of every option we own, or 500 shares of that stock. Now, we're going to get into that in more detail later on. But as of now, every option is worth 100 shares of stock. That's the first part. Now, the second part, at an agreed upon price. So the strike price of an option is our agreed upon price at expiration. So let's go take a look at that. So for example, let's kind of hide this for now. Don't want to jump the gun. If we go ahead and buy this 290 call, for example, okay, again, at expiration, that's going to be worth 100 shares of this stock, which happens to be SPY, right? The agreed upon price is $290 a share at expiration. That is the agreed upon price. Now, for example, again, like we just mentioned, if there's a $100 stock and we were to buy that option, we would be agreeing to buy 100 shares of that stock at $100 a share. That makes sense. So again, at this point, we talked about an agreed on amount of shares, 100 shares per every option, at an agreed upon price, whatever the strike price is of that option. And the next is at an agreed upon date. So the whole business about potentially having to buy 100 shares for every option we own at an expiration price that we own, right? This all goes down when the option expires. So again, remember from the top, we have an agreed upon amount of shares. Every option is worth 100 shares of stock at a predetermined price. Here, if we were to go ahead and buy the $290 call, that would be $290 a share. Okay, so at expiration, or if we're going to do the 285 call, that's going to be $285 per share, and obviously every option is 100 shares at expiration. Now we have this predetermined date where this all goes down. The date where this all goes down is the option's expiration. So in this expiration, July 20, 2018, this expires 43 days from now. And if we look at all the different options chain, every option in these chains expires on those dates, okay? So that's what that part is. Let me just scroll down here really, really quickly. And here wherever we are, great, that's it. Okay, so that's what agreed upon date is. And I told you, throughout the life cycle of that option, so until our option expires, or we get rid of it, we are synthetically long shares that are equivalent to the delta of our option. So for example, if we own a 10 delta call, we get the same profit and loss as if we owned 100 shares of stock. So let's actually show you why that's possible and how that actually is. So let's see this. Price slices, great. So again, we have purchased the 290 call expiring 43 days from now. So again, what does that turn out to be? Again, we've agreed, because we've bought an option, for every option, that is equivalent to 100 shares of stock, right, at expiration. And at expiration, that would be $290 a share. That's our strike price. And when is expiration? 43 days from now. But in that time, that option is going to be the same share equivalent synthetically as its delta. So we see right here we have 5 deltas, okay? And we said that's going to be the synthetic share equivalent as owning that many shares of stock. So let's say we own 5 shares of stock, right? 5 deltas. If the price of the stock goes up $1, we make about $5. If the price of the stock goes down $1, we lose about $5. Now, if we were to go ahead and buy that 5 delta call, right, here is what would happen. If the stock went up $1, we'd make about $5. If the stock went down $1, we'd lose about $5. That's that synthetic share thing that we were just talking about now. Okay, everyone, let's recap what we just talked about. Remember, a call option, right? What it is an option. What is an option? An agreement to buy or sell 100 shares of stock for every option at a predetermined price at a predetermined date. And during the life of that option, right? During the life of that option, when you own it, right, you are synthetically long the same amount of shares that are equal to the delta of that option. Again, you should know these 4 things before going ahead and buying options. Otherwise, you'll be buying something you do not know enough about. I'll see you guys on the next video.